Hey, my name is Will Anderson. I'm a senior in EDD, and I'm just here to tell you a little bit about the PLTW program as a whole. So I've taken all 4 years, and I've learned so many technical skills on the computer and with all the machinery that we use and hands-on. And I just love how we're always working in teams to solve problems that can affect a bunch of people, and how we can really come together and actually build things that work.
I'm Sarah. I am also a senior in EDD. I've also taken all 4 years of the PLTW classes. I think if you're interested in any sort of design or engineering pathway, this is definitely a class you'd want to check out, because then you know if you like it or not. If you don't really know what you want to do, if you like math, if you like science, if you like any kind of problem solving or hands-on skills, this is definitely a class to check out, because you'll really enjoy it. This class has definitely shown me so many more things out there in the real world besides just classroom activities, and I'm able to put together a bunch of different subjects to actually come up with a product, and I'm able to use my skills to solve problems, and then it could really show you what you can do with those classes.
Well, I'm Aiden, and I really enjoyed having the hands-on and computer part of the class, just really getting introduced into engineering.
I'm Ryan, and personally I like basically everything that you're able to do with like workbenches, and a lot of the time that you spend on the computer really helps you develop a lot of skills.
I'm Luke, I'm a sophomore, and I really like the hands-on aspect of this class and really fun projects.
I'm Matt, I'm also a sophomore, and I like the self-paced learning and the hands-on aspect.
I like the designing on online programs and building of things.
I also like designing on online programs. I especially like working in Inventor, which is like a digital 3D design thing where you can create what you want your product to look like on the computer.
Okay, so the workload is it's not that much if you come in when you're supposed to, and you get your work done on your free periods or during lunch periods, because then that makes it less stressful when you're at home and stuff.
If you use your time wisely during class and actually get work done during class, you're not going to have that much homework.
I mean, I would agree with both of them. It's a very a self-paced class, so as long as you don't procrastinate fully, it's not going to be overloading stress all the time.
Hey everyone, my name is Jack Lamar. I am a Hannah Beardsley Middle School graduate from 2009, so a while ago. And I went on to Prairie High School, where I took a couple Project Lead the Way courses. I took Intro to Engineering Design and Engineering Design and Development, the capstone course. And today I just wanted to give you a little bit of a story from my life of how those courses led to where I am now. Not now here, I'm actually in Belize on a little postponed honeymoon because of COVID, but in my career, it's been a long journey, and that journey really did start in the Project Lead the Way classes in high school. There's really not many high school courses that you can directly look back and say that you wouldn't be in your career now without those courses, and specifically IED and EDD are those for me. Going from high school into internships during college, I interned at Sage Products in Cary, Illinois, which is now Stryker, and in my interview for them, I talked pretty much only about my EDD capstone project, which was a product development course, and really taught me all the fundamentals of problem solving, of working together with a partner and a team to get something done, and then convince people that it's a good product and that it's worth investing in. So that led to my first internship. That internship then led to me in my time in college during a summer interning down at Texas Instruments in Dallas, Texas. Everyone knows them for their calculators. I was a product marketing engineer for them, working on the autonomous driving product line. So basically computer processors that go into all the fancy cars nowadays that are doing the autonomous driving. So that was really exciting. And again, in that interview for that internship, I talked almost exclusively about my EDD project. So that's something that I can't say about as valuable as other courses were in high school, like calculus, like algebra and science courses. I didn't talk about those courses in my interviews. Now, those were fundamental to understanding how other things work in my career, but for a practical, this is what I did in this course in high school, and this is how it got me to where I am now. There's nothing that really compared to the Project Lead the Way courses. Where I am now in my career, I actually live in Durham, North Carolina. I work for a company called Cree Wolfspeed, and we manufacture electronic components for electric vehicles for their power systems. So to convert the energy from one form to another in order to make the electric vehicle drive and charge and certain things like that. So to get me there, I went to college at Iowa State University, go Cyclones, and studied electrical engineering. And really that whole journey brought me to where I am now. So I'm really happy with where I am, and definitely 100% the Project Lead the Way courses that I took in high school got me here. So I'm thankful to Mr. Lowe, to Mr. Keppen, who was one of my teachers at the time, and to the whole Project Lead the Way curriculum for bringing me where I am now. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Everyone, my name is Kevin Gilbert. I'm currently a junior at Iowa State University studying biological systems engineering. I graduated from Hannah Beardsley in 2014, and I ended up taking 3 Project Lead the Way classes at Prairie Ridge High School. I decided to take these classes because, number one, my brother had taken them all before me, and he loved them, had nothing but good things to say. And number two, it was something that I was really passionate about, just the entire field of science, technology, engineering, and math. You know, all those STEM careers sounded really cool to me. And I wasn't necessarily set on engineering yet, but I knew it was going to be a great door in opening up all those other opportunities and showing me what I could do with this career, and that's exactly what it did. They're not really specific that first year, so it really eases you into it, shows you the broad engineering field, not necessarily civil or electrical or mechanical. It kind of shows you just the whole process and how you solve problems like an engineer, and I really loved that, and ended up obviously taking 2 more after that. My favorite class was definitely senior year, engineering design development. Super fun class. You get to pick your partner, and you pick your project basically. The teacher's just there as a great resource to help you along the way and give you guidance, but you come up with your problem, you come up with different ideas to solve that problem. I did a fishing tackle box that was in the shape of a water bottle with one of my good buddies. So we came up with the problem and then how are we going to solve it? Oh, let's do a tackle box, and then we made prototypes. We used the 3D printer, so a lot of computer work. We made one out of PVC and wood, so you get in the wood shop. Just a great, well-rounded experience to kind of figure out what engineering is all about, and that's something that you're not going to get till at the earliest your sophomore year in college, like when I did, and I'd already had this experience. And at the end of the class, you get to present it to real engineers, and that's something that you still don't even get in college. You won't get that until you get an internship, and then you get to do a presentation at the end. So having this experience beforehand is really just invaluable, and I'd recommend anyone with any interest in any kind of STEM career to go into this class and see what it's all about and see if they're interested in it. Worst case, you don't like it. Best case, you find out engineering's the fit for you, and you go from there and you get college credit for these classes. So I'd highly recommend taking these classes. Look into it. Mr. Lowe's a great guy if you end up going to Prairie Ridge. Super fun classes there. I'm sure he can help if you got any questions about it. Thanks, guys.
Hi 8th graders, my name is Brianna Barillo and today I'm really excited to get to talk to you about the Project Lead the Way or PLTW classes. I'm currently an Advanced Quality Engineer here at Stryker Sage in Cary, Illinois, and before that I recently graduated this past year from Milwaukee School of Engineering where I majored in Biomedical Engineering and minored in Math. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experience with PLTW. It wasn't too long ago I was in your same position. I graduated from 8th grade in 2012 and that was the first time I heard about the PLTW classes. I didn't know that much about engineering and I had no experience with it, but I've always really enjoyed math and science and it sounded like something that I might really enjoy. So I decided to take the class and I'm so glad that I did. The first class, Introduction to Engineering Design, you really get to understand what it could be like to be an engineer, and you also get an opportunity to learn and hear from different professionals. These industry professionals will tell you about their job, maybe what they do as an engineer, and you can see different roles to see how you would fit in, or maybe if you wouldn't like something. The projects that you work on are always super hands-on, and this was my favorite part. I love being able to take a project and actually work on it rather than just sit in a classroom and learn about it hypothetically. For all 4 years, I always had a hands-on experience, and also the teachers really let you take it and make it your own. They really encourage that if you're passionate about something, you try to bring that into the classroom, and they really encourage any unique ways to approach solving problems, which is not something you always get to do in other classes. So like I said, I ended up taking the classes for all 4 years. Then I took Principles of Engineering, Digital Electronics, and Engineering Design Development. All of these classes ended up helping me later on in college once I decided to major in engineering. Also, these classes actually helped me pick my university because that's how I first heard about MSOE. Once I got to college, I was able to use these experiences, so that way when I was taking these classes, it wasn't my first time working with the engineering process, and I was familiar with different aspects of it. I had a little bit of experience with coding, design elements, and other factors that actually really helped me. Now, if you are thinking about it, this is my advice to you. You will not regret taking an engineering class. If anything, you're going to have a lot of fun and learn something new, and at the best case scenario, you'll find a career that you end up loving. There's really no downside to it, so I think that if you're interested in STEM at all, you should definitely take the chance. Also, a little added bonus is that when I went to college, I was able to get a class credit for one of my PLTW classes because I met the specific criteria at my university, so one semester I was able to take one class less because that PLTW class had filled that requirement. So just a little added bonus, but I would say if you're interested in STEM, you have nothing to lose, take the chance, and you definitely won't regret.
Hi, I'm Luke Annan. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Tennessee, where I got a degree in electrical engineering. I currently work for an engineering firm downtown Chicago called Sargent & Lundy, and we deal mostly with power and energy. I went to high school at Prairie Ridge, and in 2012 I graduated from Hannah Beardsley. I became interested in engineering just kind of growing up. I really enjoyed math and science classes, and then I do remember what really set me over the edge was the engineering week that we had in 8th grade where Project Lead the Way team came in and talked about their classes, and then also real life engineers talked about their jobs and kind of what they do on a daily basis, and that really spiked my interest. And from that, I decided to take classes through Project Lead the Way, and starting off with IED, or Intro to Engineering Design, my freshman year of high school. I really enjoyed IED because there's so many different challenges and projects that you get to do during that class that really open your eyes to what you might be doing in some kind of engineering, and I just really had a great time in that class and wanted to continue that path. I also took mechanical design, which might be a little bit different name nowadays, but basically that class we had a go-kart engine that we took apart, and then everyone throughout the whole year and semester picked out different parts, and we would basically design them on the computer based off of their actual sizes and dimensions, and we would, once we had those together as a class, we tried to build the engine back together on the computer. So that was very cool, and we weren't perfect at it, but it was pretty cool to see towards the end of the year all the pieces fit together and the engine move on the computer. It was very cool. So Project Lead the Way is very unique because taking engineering classes in college and getting my degree
talking to other people, they really didn't have the opportunity to take engineering classes in high school. They were just depending on math and science and physics and stuff like that. So being able to take Project Lead the Way classes is very unique, and I would recommend it to almost anyone. Now, you might, if you're not super interested in math or science, I would still recommend it to anyone, just because engineering is problem solving, and if you can problem solve, you're going to be successful in no matter what job or what your future might hold. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gilbert. I am a second lieutenant in the Iowa Army National Guard. I'm an engineering officer currently serving as an infantry platoon leader. On the civilian side, I work full-time for Power Construction as a project engineer. I graduated Hannah Beardsley in 2010. Some of the reasons that I was interested in taking the Project Lead the Way courses, and specifically Intro to Engineering Design my freshman year, were my interests in science and math, as well as my desire to use creativity and problem solving that you really don't get in normal math and science. There are set parameters on how you can solve problems in mathematics, and there's one right answer in science, whereas engineering, you get to use creativity to come up with multiple solutions to different problems. So hearing about what Project Lead the Way had to offer, I wanted to at least investigate it and give it a try and see what it had to offer. So what I enjoyed most in high school about the Project Lead the Way classes was just how non-traditional of a class it was. It wasn't set up like a normal classroom. There wasn't really a textbook that we had to follow. Every day was something new. You were working in a group one day, the next day you could be working on your own on a project, you could be working with your hands, you could be designing something on a computer, you could be using the 3D printer, you could be outside testing some of those designs. It was always something new, and it kept it exciting and fun, and it allowed you to use your creativity and problem solving skills day in and day out like you wouldn't get in a traditional classroom. How it helped me get where I am today, I think all those things, problem solving is applied throughout engineering, as well as really just any career field. Being a leader is all about being creative in your ways to approach problems and how to interact with people. So I really learned some of those fundamental skills in those Project Lead the Way courses and the Intro to Engineering courses and things like that. Additionally, I think plans reading was one thing that helped me throughout my career and helped me when I got to college. Understanding what a 3D object looks like two-dimensionally on a piece of paper, and vice versa, looking at something two-dimensionally and understanding how that's going to be translated three-dimensionally. That's the bread and butter of construction, and I think that gave me a leg up above my classmates when we were taking our first engineering courses, and I already knew how to read plans. I didn't have to get calibrated on how to look at things on a plans view. I think 8th graders interested in STEM should definitely sign up for no other reason other than it's something new and it's exciting. It's different than your normal everyday science technology classes, and it allows you to kind of test the waters on engineering and what you like and what you don't like, and really that's huge in going into your senior year and looking at colleges and where you want to go and choosing a major to study. So worst case scenario, take a leap of faith, have some fun in the classes, and it will only help you out in the future and set you up for success. So good luck.